Thailand's southern mainland town and province of Surat Thani has always been a dream travel destination both for nature and culture lovers. While the Khao National Park and Ratchaprapa Dam boast the wildlife wonders and stunning landscapes, some areas of this province, namely Shia District, offer archaeological sites that can really keep a history buff sightseeing schedule busy for a day or two. As Surat Thani was a part of the ancient Srivijaya kingdom, the province is dotted with the remnants from the past as old as the Khmer Angkor civilization. Back in the day, the ancient Srivijaya kingdom spread over the lower part of the Malay Peninsula and some islands of Indonesia. A stone inscription written in 1318 BE found in Surat Thani confirms that the Srivijaya kingdom dates back at least 1,300 years ago. The kingdom's strong economy and constantly extended territory gave an opportunity for art and culture to prosper at its best. Mahayana Buddhism reigned, and the kingdom's seaside towns along the Malacca Strait became important trading posts between Chinese merchants from the east and Indian and Arabian ones from the west of the strait. Statues of Bodhisattva Buddha, pieces of Chinese porcelain, and Indian beads found scattered along the coast of the Malay Peninsula have helped archaeologists complete the picture of the kingdom. The important sites archaeologists still work on unearthing similar objects can be found in Thailand's southern provinces, especially Chaya District of Surat Thani. As we arrived in Surat Thani, Chaya Chaya was the first site we visited for our journey back through time. Chaya District was a part of the ancient Srivijaya kingdom existing for minimum 1,200 years ago on the southern part of Thailand and believed to be spreading as far as the Indonesian islands of Java and Sumatra. So all these historical sites discovered in Chaya are all related to this kingdom, including this Chaya that we are looking at right now. Chaya serves as a fine example of Srivijaya's influence on religious architecture. The Jedi now houses Buddha relics and is one of the most important landmarks of the city. And here in the courtyard of the Jedi, sculptures and Buddha images made from sandstones date back to the Ayutthaya period 400 years ago. Then, we left the Jedi and headed out to Chaya District. After an hour, we arrived in Pomerium, a cozy and quiet Muslim village, which was the city center before the proper province's map was drawn and the present downtown was settled. Surat Thani's first cinema is one of the remnants from the era. A fire throughout the building left behind only ghostly structure. It reminded me of the movie setting. But we weren't here for the movie. Pomerium village is also famous for silk weaving, the tradition passed down over hundreds of years. Producing silk fabric has been the long-time tradition since the Srivijaya kingdom was still in power. 3 kilometers away from here, Lampo, or the ancient port, is where the Arabian and Indian merchants stopped, traded their goods before they moved on. And the silk from this village was a part of the products from that era. Silk weaving was one of the industries apart from fishing and rice farming brought by the Muslim people resettling 400 years ago from Ayutthaya kingdom north of Bangkok. Female villagers weave cloth with Chinese silk threads, which were later transported in Chinese chunks to be sold in other regions, lending the village fame as the center of fine silk weaving. The weavers now use threads from Japan and local silkworm farms, completing the task with the unrivaled skills that have been passed on from older generations. The old-fashioned looms here are the same style used by the hand-weaving industry nationwide. To one corner, I found an even more traditional loom that now stands as an object of exhibition. Dust indicated that it had been retired, but I was told that in the earlier days, this loom produced much more complicated and detailed patterns. It is sad that the lady who really knew how to use it are not here anymore. Auntie Vanma, who is the unofficial leader of the weaving village, showed me the complete cloth of different patterns. A cloth can take from 2 days to 2 months to complete, depending on how complicated the patterns are. It seems that all the painstaking process pays off. If not with the payment, then it must be with the impression they create to anyone who gets to hold this cloth in their hands. Wow, all of them were simply beautiful. The auntie started weaving as young as 15. Now at 65, she finds it hard to sit her granddaughters or nieces down and repeat the teaching process her granny taught her. She used to own almost 100 looms in her shop. Now, there are only 25 left as the weavers get too old and there isn't much demand in the market anymore. Auntie Wanma is unsure about the future of her shop and are the few other shop owners in the area. Tapo Beach is a walkable distance from the village. We got there just in time to see the fishermen leaving and coming back for the night and day catches. And while some of the catches go to the nearby market, some are left on the stalls for the locals who prefer their dinner to still be alive. Wow! Look at the size of these oysters. They are huge. Wow! And these guys, the mussels, they are alive as well.
ตัวใหญ่ๆนะ
นี่ตัวใหญ่ Apart from hosting a big seafood market on weekends, Tapo preserves historical significance as an ancient port from Srivijaya to Ayutthaya periods. Indian, Arabian, and Chinese junks once stopped here, traded, and also reloaded fresh water from these wells, which are now dotting the park and area along the coast. So this is one of the 10 ancient wells found in this village, and this is where the merchants got the fresh water for the boats. And as if bumping into some ancient wells in random places wasn't cool enough, we strolled on the beach and found even more surprising pieces from history. Shells and biotrashes are not the only things brought here by the waves. Pieces of porcelains from sunken junks years ago managed to make their way to this beach as well. Look at all this. This is amazing. You can still find pieces of the history just right on the sand. As the sun started to disappear, we were surrounded by local families chilling out on the beach and in the park. The only sounds that broke the silence around us were the kids' laughter and fishing boat engines. Tapo doesn't need turquoise water and chill-out bars to impress me. But why would I want those when it was such a privilege to soak up all this serenity and to almost have this beach to myself?